Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This video is explaining what I've called, for right now, it could change, I don't know, the Curator Legacy Challenge. This is a challenge that I came up with months and months and months ago, and I have been kind of fine-tuning it and changing some rules and this and that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing it in the video after this one. I'm going to start playing it and kind of fine-tune the rules even more while playing it. So this is pretty much just explaining the rules and the game setup, which I will probably try to explain in the next video, but who knows how that will come out. So the disclaimer, as far as I know, there is no other challenge exactly like this one. I have seen challenges that are like parts of this challenge, so it's kind of like I took parts of certain challenges and put them all together into one giant challenge. I know of challenges like the ABC Legacy Challenge, the Not So Buried Challenge, the Curator Challenge, and the regular Legacy Challenges. And I took my favorite parts of each of those and created this one. If there is another challenge out there that is exactly like this one, please let me know and I will give them credit since they did come up with it before I did. So that's out the way. Alright, the Curator Legacy Challenge, and yes, I did a slideshow because, well, they're fun and it was the easiest way to explain it. But what is the Curator Legacy Challenge? It is a legacy challenge with a twist, and each generation has specific rules. The purpose of this challenge is to have a museum at the end showcasing the family and the collectibles they obtained. The length of your challenge will be short or long depending on the content packs you own. I think it is up to 33 generations at this point. 34 if you are one of those weird ones like me who bought Journey to Batuu. If you don't own all the packs, then there will be some generations or parts of generations that you cannot do, and some generations seem hard and others seem too easy based on the tasks that they are given. The order of generations. I did not make the generations in any particular order. The only rule to the order is that the Curator Generation is the last generation. Otherwise, they can be played in any order. Your last generation will be responsible for creating a family museum. Besides their aspiration, the museum will be their only task. There are two aspirations that can be combined with others. They are the academic aspiration that came with Discovery University, and that can be used as a generation's first aspiration and then join any required career upon graduation. The second is the world famous celebrity aspiration that came with Get Famous, and that aspiration can be added to any generation that brings in fame. You do not have to wait until one generation dies to begin the next. Your second generation can begin their task while the first generation is still working on theirs. So you could have your child working on their task while their adult parent is still working on theirs. So, my tip is to read through each generation completely before beginning and determine the order that best suits your gameplay. And on that note, I will be doing them, well, at the time I wrote this, I'll be doing them in the order that I wrote the challenge, except for the vampire aspirations will be right before the Curator. The reason for that is I do not want to play with vampires through tons and tons of generations. So, okay. Next, to begin, create a sim of your choosing. They may look however you choose. Depending on which generation you start with, use any required traits. Give them the correct aspiration for the generation you are starting with, because each generation is named after aspirations. Lifespan should be set to normal. The story for your Sims can be whatever you choose as long as it doesn't conflict with the generation rules. Marriage, unless specified, is up to you. At least one natural or adopted child is required for the next generation to continue. Only the last generation is not required to have a child. And cheats may be used when appropriate, and I will discuss the money cheats more in another section. No mods that give you an advantage over non-mod players, but CC that does not alter gameplay is fine. Alright, now for the fun part, the simoleons talk. Most legacy challenges have you start with nothing or close to nothing, but not this one. I'm kind of a nice person, since you'll be playing for what seems like forever. You may use money cheats, free real estate to purchase homes and businesses. You may not add money to your bank just for fun, like, oh, I need 5,000 simoleons, let me add it. No, it's only to purchase homes and businesses. For your very first generation, you begin with 10,000 simoleons after purchasing your home. If you cheat and give yourself 500,000 simoleons to purchase your home, that's fine, but then give yourself 10,000 to start with after that. All subsequent generations must start with their inheritance from the previous generation. And some generations have additional funding rules, and they will be listed in the generation rules itself. Okay, dual or multi-aspiration generations. I tried to combine some of the aspirations so that there wouldn't be unnecessary extra generations. For example, I combined the 3 vampire aspirations together into one. In any generation with multiple aspirations, you may switch between the aspirations depending on what you are currently doing with your sim. So for example, the vampire one, if you can switch between the 3. You don't have to complete one before you move on to the next, so that you can work a little bit better with them. Spouses and additional children. Nothing your spouse does counts except finding collectibles. If they find a collectible, it can be used. I will show in the video where I begin how to save collectibles that aren't necessarily for your generation. They can have any job, any aspiration. Only the heir child's aspiration and career counts. Additional children may find collectibles, but their aspirations do not count either. The spouse and additional children may have pictures in the museum only when being used to showcase the heir's life, such as wedding picture, birth certificates, pictures of the heir with all of their children, whatever. However, they may be honored in the family cemetery however you see fit. Heirs Deaths. Your heir must remain on the family lot until death. If your new heir must move, then the mom or dad must go too. You may have a family cemetery or family mausoleum by placing one from the gallery or building your own on any lot. When each heir or other family member dies, place their tombstone or urn in the cemetery or mausoleum. I suggest making it on a permanent lot because some generations will have to move, and unless you want to move your cemetery each time, a permanent lot is best. And I show you in the video how to do it with Get to Work, and how you honor your family members in the cemetery or mausoleum is completely up to you. Collections rules. There should be 1 potion of youth per household member of each generation to be stored in the museum. For example, if Generation 1 has the heir, the spouse, and 2 kids, that generation is responsible for 4 potions. Generation 2 has the new heir, their spouse, and 1 kid, which would be 3 potions. Items in a collection can be obtained by any legal means necessary. This includes finding them yourself, purchasing from a computer or a vendor. A previous generation found them, but you may not use the debug cheat to obtain these items. So this generally means if your first generation is your painter generation, but they harvest a lemon tree, the lemon may remain in the family inventory and count for the gardening generation's collection. And I will show you how I use storage chest. Well, at the time I was using storage chest, now I use the boxes from Eco Lifestyle to store certain things. Some other general rules. Most of these tasks can be completed within normal lifespan. However, each generation is allowed to consume 1 potion of youth anytime during their life, as long as they have the points for it. And that's in addition to the one they have to have for the museum. Yes, you may have a money tree or multiple money trees. I don't care how you make your money, as long as it's not through cheats. So if you have the points for 3 money trees, go for it. And this means that any of the rewards that you can purchase with satisfaction points are legal, except prolonging life longer than 1 potion of youth. If you have the points for the never weary trait, then have at it, and your sim will just never sleep. Doesn't matter. And you can add whatever lots to your game that you want to give your sims a more realistic life. Alright, and this is where I started explaining the generations. There's not 31 anymore. I haven't updated this. Each generation has specific skills, career, collection. Some have extra requirements, and some have requirements that are dependent upon having certain packs. So skip those requirements if you do not have those packs. The location is listed in the rules. That is the location in which you must live for that generation. If no location is listed, then you may live anywhere you would like. If there is no career listed, it will literally say none. Then you may choose a career from the list at the end of this that have not been required previously, or have no career at all. It's up to you. But if it has a career, you have to do that career. So this is the one that I'm going to just use as an explanation. It's the Friend of the Animals generation, which is from the Cats and Dogs pack. So this whole generation is dependent upon that one pack. You have to live in Brindleton Bay. Your only career is to own a veterinarian clinic and work in it, and make it a 3-star or higher clinic before death. Your collection is the feathers, and there's a statue that you can make by collecting all the feathers. So you could either just collect all the feathers, or you could collect all the feathers twice and make 1 statue and have the feathers. You have to max the veterinarian and pet training skill. Your required traits are cat lover or dog lover. 1, both, doesn't matter. Extra, you collect catnip, madnip, napnip, nuzzlenip, and the trash plant fruit. They stay stored in the extra collectibles box for the gardening generation to put into their box. And optional, you would create each of the treats and serums on the vet station. You can create them to hold in the museum, or just don't create them at all. That's completely optional. And I've chose to show this one because of it has the funding rules. So it's, if this was your first generation, you use the money cheat, you buy your clinic, you buy your house, and then you put $10,000 in your clinic, $10,000 in your household funds, and that's it. That's all the money you have. If this is a generation after the first generation, you can use the money cheats to buy your house in Brindleton Bay, use the money cheat to buy your clinic. Set your clinic funds to $10,000, but your household funds may not be more than what you inherited from the previous generation. So if you inherited 38,000 simoleons from the previous generation, use the money cheats, buy your clinic, your house, set your household funds back to 38,000. And you may only move your daily profit amount over to your household fund. So if your clinic earns 5,000 simoleons, you only move 5,000 simoleons to your household funds. And then I just have slides for the rest of the generations. Bodybuilder Generation, Painter Extraordinaire, Musical Genius, Best-selling Author, Master Actor or Actress, Public Enemy, which is where you'll do both of the aspirations for that. You'll have Public Enemy and Chief of Mischief. Soulmate, Successful Lineage, It's a try Aspiration, Soulmate, Successful Lineage, and Big Happy Family. Super Parent, Masterchef Generation, Master Mixologist, Fabulously Wealthy. It's dual. You have to do both the Fabulously Wealthy and Mansion Baron. Renaissance Sim, Nerd Brain, Computer Whiz, Serial Romantic, City Native, Strangerville Mystery, Beach Life, Freelance Botanist, Angling Ace, Outdoor Enthusiast, Jungle Adventure, Spellcaster. That will combine all of the Spellcaster aspirations into one. Joke Star, Party Animal, Leader of the Pack, Eco Generation, Lord Lady of the Knits, Snowy Generation, which is the one I'm going to be starting with. I've not finished writing this because I just copy and pasted and it still has knitting on it. So, and then Vampire Generation, and then the Curator Generation, which will be the final generation no matter what. And I just stuck Journey by 2x2 here, and obviously I have not changed anything on that one. Academic and World Famous Celebrity are the two that can be used in conjunction with any of the other aspirations you want. So far these are the careers not required that you can use anytime they say none. And the end game is the museum. So the end game to this challenge is the museum. This is what all these generations have been working towards, and your final generation will be the one putting it all together. There are two parts of the museum, honoring the heirs and showcasing the collections. This museum will most likely be huge. You will have 30 plus heirs now to honor, and 28, anywhere from 29 to 31 collections to showcase now. So my best advice would be thinking about the museum from the beginning. How do you want to showcase it? Is there any existing lots on the gallery that will work for you? Do you want to build it from scratch? So what I will be doing is, in my spare time, building the museum in another save that I have. It's called my Build World save. So I will save it to the library. It'll be completely empty except for display tables, and then place in my legacy when it's time, and then put all my collectibles and stuff into it so that I will have an idea of what I need. I can go into my Build World save, pull stuff out in debug, and build it that way, and then take all of the collectible items back out so that I have it the way that I want it. Ideas on how to honor the heirs however you want. In my mind, I plan to have special pictures and items for each heir, college acceptance letters, scouting board and trophies, items they use to become successful, anything about their life to honor them. I mean, it's a museum, so. And that is the end of it. That's what I've come up with so far. I am still, like I said, fine-tuning this. I will be playing it along, and you'll be watching along with me. If you have suggestions while I'm playing it, leave them in the comments, and we can make this a really good, however long, challenge. But it gives me the chance to play through each part of the game in ways because normally I wouldn't. So anyway, this is the basic introduction on this challenge that I've been working on. 62%, I believe, of the people that voted in a poll said they wanted me to record the whole thing and post each part. I was just going to post like this introduction, introduce you to my first heir, play off camera, and do an update every so often. But I will record it, and you can watch this challenge pretty much be created and formed and everything as I go. Anyway, I hope you are kind of excited to see this challenge take place. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and like my content, please hit the subscribe button. Leave me some comments down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.